Have you worn your new Gymshark sweater?
I did wear my Gymshark sweater yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Nope. Day before.
That's so cute.
Yesterday was a write-off for me.
The sale is still on at the time of recording. So I've been trying really hard not to purchase.
Yeah. Jenny just bought like 6 pairs of shorts.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Welcome back
to another episode of Sometimes Draw Slaps. I'm Max.
I'm Jubes. You're Max.
Max.
Oh.
Max.
And I'm Ruby. Today, you're on Max and Ruby does shadow work. Dude, that'd be a sick episode.
Max and Ruby.
Ruby and Max. I don't know what the rest of the words.
That was a great song.
I just go into like the Bob the Builder jingle, like
from Max and Ruby to Bob the Builder.
Yeah. Work in the day to get the job done or whatever is like the next line that goes.
Max and Ruby, Ruby and Max.
Isn't there more words?
I'm blanking now too.
Max and Ruby song lyrics. This is not important at all. It's literally Max and Ruby, Ruby and Max, Max and Ruby, Ruby and Max, Max and Ruby, Ruby and her little brother Max, Max and Ruby, and then giggles. I thought there was more words to that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay.
I remember the jingle going do 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 do.
I totally thought there was more words, but hey, well,
the more you know.
The more you know.
What's new with you, Jubes?
What's new with me, Jubes? I don't know. My big thing right now is like when I'm describing something, I'll just go like big strong blank or like big blank whatever. So like, oh, are you such a big strong girl or a big strong boy? Or like, oh, I'm a big grumpy girl today, and it's just so fun. Because it's just a big blank whatever.
Yeah.
Or like I'm a big chip girl.
Big chip girl.
You know
big
what
chip
I mean?
Energy.
Big chip energy. Like big taco girl. You know, that's not something I want on the internet. But you mean what I know?
Multiple meanings.
Big workout girl, big workout boy. You know, it doesn't have to be like your gender, but I think it's just fun. You know,
fun.
like you're a big redhead boy.
That's a gross algebra.
Dude, I called him algebra nasty, and he thought I like hung the moon. He was like, "What did you call me?" And I was like, "Algebra nasty," and he was like, "That's amazing." And I was like, "I didn't coin it. It was all Mac."
I've been saying that to his face
multiple
times.
Oh my gosh, no! I must have just got him at a good time.
You must have.
Cause yeah, he like came over, like put his arm around me, and I was like, "What's up, algebra nasty?" And he was like, "What did you just say?"
This is my friend's now husband.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
Yeah. I've been saying that to him for months.
That's
or
amazing.
Gross algebra, or algebra, like a variation of something math related and then something gross.
It's so funny. So yeah,
calculus foul, like
calculus foul. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that's his new name now.
Algebra nasty.
Algebra nasty.
That's so funny. Speaking of nasty,
I
got a wicked stomach bug right now.
Gross.
It was really fun waking up yesterday and throwing up immediately. And then, new boyfriend's place. You know, throwing up out of nowhere. No other sick symptoms happening prior. And it's like, oh, what if the what if chat is like, uh-oh. Even though there's no way that it would have been that. My symptoms, my stomach bug symptoms just developed later on.
Yeah.
Like as the day progressed, it was like, there's the fever. Like, oh, yeah, there's some more nausea and vomiting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't.
That's like when I had food poisoning like a month or two ago, just like deceased.
Yeah.
So fun.
But just kind of slowly developed. But like in the moment, you're like, this is random. I don't like that.
Well, And it's weird because we were supposed to go to a concert last night.
Russ in Calgary at Stampede.
And I saw, like, he, like, posted a TikTok, and I was really hoping it was going to be like, oh, like, I had to cancel. And I was like, yay. And it was like, no. I was like, shoot. But, yeah, like, Matt got sick, so we didn't end up going. Bryce got home and was like, I really don't want to drive you guys downtown tonight, so, like, I can call you a cab or whatever. And I was like, it's okay, we're not going to go. And then it, like, flash flooded, like, downtown Calgary. I was like, we are not meant to go to this concert for whatever reason. Yeah. We are not meant to go, which is so weird.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I was like, I'm feeling better. I'm not throwing up anymore. But my brain is telling me to stay home.
Yeah.
And then I got another round that night. So it was good. It was good. I stayed home. I would hate to be downtown Calgary.
I know Mac like Snapchat. She's like, it's back. I'm glad we didn't go. And I was like,
It would make my life way more complicated than necessary.
It's so fun. There's nothing like a stomach bug in a porta potty.
Good.
Yeah. But no, I'm just like, I have not stopped thinking, because I thought there would be like a really obvious reason why we weren't like supposed to go. But I haven't found one yet. But yeah, we just were not.
Otherwise, if like, say we took the C train and then got mugged
like
on the C train.
Something happened on the C train. Well, yeah, like one of the guys that Bryce works with, he like was on his way to work one day and he got beaten to death with like something in a sock on his way to work. And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like where I've taken the C train 100 times, but if that was our only way of getting there, well, maybe something wouldn't have gone.
Well, and we'd be coming back
that
late.
We ended up in
hydroplaned.
I almost said hydrofoiled. Dude, hydrofoiled.
I wiped out on that hydrofoil.
Yeah.
Bonked the shit out of my noggin. Oh my gosh, rocked my world. It hurt so bad. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to go again because, like, that's a bad note to end on. So then I, like, went around again, and then I fell off and landed flat on my back. And I thought I hit the fin, but I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
It hurt so bad. The next morning, I woke up, and I felt like I had been hit by a car. I could not move my head. Like, today's the first day. This happened on Sunday. Today, it's
hydrofoil is basically a surfboard with like a fin
and like a motor.
Yeah,
it's like a motorized surfboard kind of thing.
It has a foil which looks like an airplane, and then there's like this post, and then it's like a surfboard on top. I'll
post the video of me wiping out. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So today's Friday. This happened on Sunday. Today's the first day I can like look up. It's like it hurts so bad. Even then, I was a little nervous because I haven't looked up yet today. Oh my gosh. The front of my neck all the way down to my sternum, the back of my neck all the way down my back hurt so bad. My core, my legs, my butt.
Those are all the muscles you're using, right? The core and butt, legs, those are the muscles that you're using.
Because I was like, I'm not usually sore after I'm done it, but it was whatever. But just those wipeouts just murdered me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And my dad like texted me, I was like, it feels like I got hit by a car. He's like, yeah, he's like, I had trouble putting on my shoes because I couldn't like sit down and twist over to do my shoe because he had like twisted an ab or something. He was like, I'm so sore.
Well, then one of my friend's husbands, he was on the foil and he is black and blue.
Oh my gosh, his bruises are insane.
He has dark purple bruises from
like all up his back. It was just crazy.
Yeah, back.
I get it though. I get it. Like before when he showed me, I was like, there's no way. And then I wiped out hard a couple times and I was like, I get it. You only land on that bitch once before you're like, all done.
Yeah.
All done. It hurts so bad.
Also, you're supposed to jump away from the foil. But
like the couple times that I like really wiped out was the first time I didn't think I was going to wipe out because I'd have a couple close calls on that one. And I was like, no, I can save it. So then I didn't bail.
Yeah.
And then my foot slipped. It kind of went up and then my foot slipped. And then I just landed right on it. And then her friend's husband still came out of the house and was like, dude, I heard that from inside the house.
Yeah.
And I was yeah.
We were all sitting there. We were like, oh, that sounded like it hurt.
And it didn't at the time.
Yeah. Because you said, I'm good.
I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, it didn't hurt at all, really. I was like, hey, I bonked my head just to like, let's just do a little check-in. And I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, eyesight's fine, vision, like, everything's fine. And then a little while later, I started getting like a headache, like in the back of my head and like the front of my head. And I was like, it's fine. I don't have a concussion or anything. But I was like, that hurt.
Oh.
It was just a good bonk.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah.
hilarious.
I was like, I'm all done with this. So now I have to try it again just so I can, after watching the videos and seeing what happened and where I was in, like where I actually was versus like where I thought I was, has helped me kind of like ease off some of the anxiety about it. Because I was like, oh, no, I was actually fine because of the way the board went, except for obviously when I landed on it. But yeah, in that one, I should have just bailed, but I didn't think I needed to. So
yeah, the learning curve.
Well. Yep. So I might just put a compilation of me just like wiping out on that.
Oh, okay. If you can nail hydrofoiling though, you're gonna be so good at snowboarding.
I have my balance and I feel good like when I'm on there and I can kind of like go under the water and up. But it's as soon as the hydrofoil like lifts above the water, so it's just the foil part that's in, that's when I get scared because it feels like I just keep going up, 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 and up, but I just keep going faster and faster and faster. And it's the same thing with snowboarding where like the speed scares me then. Yeah. And then I'm also not standing far enough forward on the board, so it just like pops the giant wheelie and just throws me off the back. Yeah. So, you know.
So fun.
It's so fun. But
if any of you if you don't know what a hydrofoil is, you should look up videos because it's they're fun. It's a very weird sensation to get used to.
It is odd.
And I've foiled behind a boat. I still have yet to figure out this electric attachment on the foil, just because if you flood the back casing of it, it cuts off power. And so that's what I'm having issues with, is trying to get up or get enough speed that I don't flood the back casing before.
You kind of almost have to do it like Algebra Nasty does. And he just surf paddles along and he just like gets enough momentum so that he can, but you have to also have the throttle out of the water and the back casing out of the water. And then,
I'll figure out a technique because if Algebra Nasty can do it, being
then you can
40 pounds
definitely
heavier
do
than
it.
me and a handful of inches taller than me. Like almost a foot taller than me and 40 pounds heavier than me. Then we're good.
Yeah, he's pretty much got it mastered too, which is pretty sick. But yeah, no, we were comparing how much it hurts when you land on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Great, this is fun.
Oh my gosh.
But even my mom did it, which I didn't think she was going to, because she doesn't like her head going underwater. So I didn't, and she like, that's something that I think that she would be worried about, like embarrassing herself on. But she did so good on it, and I was so excited that she got to try it.
She looked like she was having a blast too.
Right, I think she was. She like got on there. She was doing like the little go-kart. Yeah. She's like, yeah, go-kart's the way to go. I was like, yes, pretty sick.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, I remember seeing her. I'm like, yeah, Tara,
way to go. It was so exciting.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But yeah. Okay.
Awesome. I guess we'll get into today's episode. So today's episode is shadow work.
Yes. It's kind of like shadow work is kind of taken TikTok by storm. Yeah. And a lot of social media platforms because the way I first learned of it was Drew Barrymore had like there was an article that she did for a magazine that kind of talked about like she had a specific room where she would dedicate like to her shadow and like working on her shadow work, and that was something she was doing a lot with her therapist and stuff. So I was like, oh, interesting. And then
I'll say a lot of therapists in responses like to trauma and stuff like that, they have been touching more and more on shadow work. Yeah, my aunt, her therapist has been telling her about inner child and shadow work and all this stuff a whole bunch.
Yeah. So I feel like this is kind of a topic that we've like alluded to without saying like the words shadow work. And like we've had it in our our topic list for a while, but I thought it meant job shadow, not psychology topics. So I'm like, yeah, and like I can totally understand like talking about like the importance of job shadowing and like what that can kind of do for you, but I don't understand why we need to dedicate like an entire episode to it, you know? Michaela and Alexa both look at me like, it's not what that means, you idiot. And I was like, oh.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't say you idiot, but both of you were like, it's not job shadowing.
That's not it. That's not it.
That's what I have in our notes. I was like, this isn't like job shadowing and is spiritual, I guess. So that I could like research it and stay on track. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
Yes. Okay, so shadow work.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. What is shadow work? It's the idea of like your shadow self, which was popularized by Carl Jung. And so your shadow self is composed of the parts of yourself that you like reject and or repress.
Mhm.
And a lot of the articles that I read were kind of talked about in addition to this neuroscientist Tara Swart. She was like a prominent feature in these. And so often the reason you reject these aspects of your personality goes back to your own childhood. And so when we're young, like we depend on our parents and our main caregivers for survival. And so we become obviously very attached to them and their way of doing things. So when a caretaker then scolds you for being outspoken, there's a chance that you won't feel safe speaking your mind from that point on, even as an adult. It's kind of an extreme example, but that's what happened to me. And so then if like one of your shadows is around like speaking your truth, then when you see people who are speaking their truths and they're so like not flamboyant, but like so outspoken about it, it can almost like trigger you and just bring up these like unexplainable feelings of anger and resentment, since you've been programmed to believe that speaking up is not a safe thing for you to do, which is very interesting.
Did you have that with when you met me though?
A little bit. I still struggle with it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, like, and I even like with boundary setting, I still have a hard time like accepting other people's boundaries because I'm like so envious of them being able to set the boundary. I'm like, well, why should you be able to set the boundary if I can't set that boundary when that's not their issue at all? Like that's a me issue. That's a my task. That's not a your task, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that I'm still trying to work on, and then also trying to take like switch the view and be like, okay, well, if they can set their boundary, then I can set my boundary. This is a safe place for me to set my boundary. Like if they don't feel comfortable doing that, then later in the future, when the opportunity comes up for me to do that, I can say, no, I don't feel comfortable with that because they were comfortable to set that boundary. So they should be able to allow me to set my boundary kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
tit for tat.
Yeah, it's a lot of work and exhausting, but I've grown. So you know what? That's important.
You have.
And so that's really fun. It's interesting. I didn't think I was going to talk about this, but with you getting your new boyfriend, I've had to do a lot of work with my shadows.
Really?
Yes.
This is like a brand new thing, too.
Because every time one of my friends gets a boyfriend, I get placed on the back burner.
Oh.
Every time. It's boys over me every single time. So I'm trying not to like get jealous or like envious or possessive because I'm like, no, it's Michaela. No, you're good. You'll be fine.
No, you're not going to get placed on the back burner.
Yeah, but that's how it's always been, right? So then
we're very much in the honeymoon phase right now, and because I'm leaving for 3 weeks, I'm very much like,
which like it makes sense, right? And it's like, I don't have any sort of possession over you, obviously. So, but yeah, it's just weird because, and I didn't think of it as one of my shadows until just now, but it definitely is.
Interesting.
Where I kind of have to just like calm down.
How did you feel during Canada Day then?
Oh, it was totally fine.
Okay, but did you feel like I was like more with him or was that a good balance?
No, because I'd been where you were. And so I was kind of like, I was just watching you kind of find the balance of like, okay, well, I want to spend time with him, but I also like all my friends are here. So it was just kind of like, and I'm like, I've been there. I get that. It was no big deal. Okay. I was also comfortable enough where like I didn't have to depend on you.
Wait, because you've been there enough
because
times?
I'd been there. I'd known everyone. I was quote unquote hosting these games, right? Like it was.
And quote unquote, my friends are now your friends as well. Like
we've also just,
you've morphed into the group.
I've just invited myself into their friendship.
No, not even, like you were invited in. Like you didn't invite yourself. You're not imposing on anything. You were.
It's just so nice to have healthy friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Not like, that I've never had healthy friends, but you know what I mean. Like yeah.
But especially in this area, right? Because a lot of your friends are not in the city anymore. Yeah. Now, right? Or a lot of your good friends aren't in the city.
Yeah, like I have friends in Vancouver, and then I've got friends in Red Deer, and like I do have some in the city too. But yeah, it was just like like Canada Day was totally fine. Yeah, it's just I was like,
interesting.
You gotta calm down about that. My insecurity showing.
That's embarrassing.
Gross. I would hate to be her.
Oh, fun.
No, but it's good. And now that I can recognize that it's my shadow and it's something that I've like struggled with in the past, you can kind of learn from there and work forward.
Well, and even the fact you can just say that right now shows a lot of growth for you.
Right? I'm such a big girl.
Got your big girl.
I'm such a big, strong girl.
Big strong girl.
I'm a big strong boy.
What? I said girl.
I know. It just sounded like boy.
That's
big
funny.
strong girl.
Girl.
Okay, so the shadow is also one of Jung's archetypes in his theory of the collective unconscious. And so I want to do another episode on like his 12 archetypes as well.
Mm-hmm.
When you Google it, there's like either 4 or 8 or 12 archetypes. So I think it just depends on how many things you want to separate them to. Like,
we'll just start with archetypes, and we'll see if there's other philosophers or psychologists with archetype relations. Well, we can go.
Because even when I brought it up, I was like, yeah, I want to do like the archetypes, and you were like, oh, like the traditional like story archetypes, right?
Because
then I was like,
there's literature archetypes, then there's
and then I was like, no, like your personality, where some's like quite literally like the persona, which is the like face you put on for everyone else, and then there's like the shadow, which is like the parts of your dark side or whatever.
Yeah, it's like your emotional subconscious in many ways.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. I'm quite excited for that.
So, do we all have a shadow? Yes, we do. It's often called by a different name. Shadow work can also be referred to as self-reflection, self-examination, etc. And most therapists are tasked with making the unconscious conscious, which is fundamental tenet of. Yeah. So it's basically, just. I think, Freud's term would be subconscious, I guess. I'm trying to think of in terms of superego, and id.
I think it would be the id, yeah. Because it's a part that, like, I'm trying to visualize that iceberg.
Can't really control. But it's everything that you put on the back burner that may contribute to how you perceive events and whether the world happens to you or for you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, something that I mentioned later on is that there's no bad part of you. Like, every part of you is good, and they phrase it somewhere else, but it's just like, don't look at this as like, oh, I need to examine like all the bad parts of me. Like, every part of you is you, and there's no good or bad of that, right?
It's like, what's stopping you from being your authentic self?
You still need to, address your shadows in order to live a more authentic lifestyle. So how to do shadow work? So like we said, it's all about bringing the unconscious mind to your conscious awareness by asking objective questions that require you to critically think and re-examine old stories and beliefs that we hold about ourselves. So kind of just looking back, like same thing with when I noticed that I was having feelings of like jealousy with Mac and her boyfriend, being like, why? Like, why do you feel threatened right now? And then just kind of being like, okay, well, because this is what's happening. Okay, well, do you think that's going to happen this time? No, I sure hope not. No. But like, right?
And if it does, I'd hope you'd say something.
Yeah, well, I might now. I'm a big, strong girl. My feelings are valid. And then by doing this with an objective third party, such as a therapist, it can help provide a mirror to the parts of ourselves that we have a difficult time seeing or accepting. It's just like, you might not be aware of what's happening, but having someone else who's coming in from the outside and just being like, oh, by the way, you do this because of this. And it's just like, oh, well, that makes sense.
The light bulb moments, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even with the our attachment styles quiz, the fact that I took the quiz 5 times and got the same answer, I was like, maybe it's me.
Yeah. I guess I can accept this answer.
Like, no, it's not me.
Right? But if someone had come up to you and told you, like, oh, you're this, you'd be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah. And so then, before you can begin shadow work, you need to develop more awareness of your emotions, and you need to be intentional about noticing your own reactions. And so it's recommended for beginners to keep a running log of the times they feel a strong emotion and what triggered it. And so the shadow is most apparent in strong emotions. So by tracking them, you can kind of see patterns of like what is linked to all that fun stuff. And so there are 5 questions you should ask yourself before starting shadow work. And they are, who am I? What do I want? What do I have to let go of to get the things I desire? Who do I have to become to receive those things? And how do I want to show up? Basically, like, who do you want to be and how are you going to get there?
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
So here are some exercises that can help you build on your shadow work in or out of the therapy room. So evaluate times when you overdo it and think about why. What are you trying to accomplish? What void are you trying to fill?
And with that, they mean like overdo it, like to the point of burnout. Like, why are you staying late at work? Why are you putting in more than you need to, kind of thing?
Why does everything have to be perfect?
Exactly.
Right? Why do you have perfectionist tendencies over XYZ?
Yeah.
Think about someone that triggers you and reflect on what it is about that person that might also be within you.
This one's interesting.
Right? Ask yourself, what it is about that person that I don't like? Do I find that I have some of those same traits sometimes? This goes back to the whole premise of like everyone around you is a mirror of yourself, or you attract what you put out.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're attracting people they don't like, what are you putting out that you don't?
Exactly. What about yourself that you don't like? What makes you think that you deserve to be treated like that?
My prior dating history that you guys saw.
Exactly.
Up until this new moment.
Exactly.
So do I have the same traits? What makes it so difficult to be around them? What parts of me does that person enliven when I'm around them? And how do I feel about that part of myself?
I really like that one because it's really interesting to look at someone who's like a quote unquote triggering you and then being like, what is about them that's within me? Because instead of being like, what is about them that's triggering me? It's like, why does that trigger me? Is it because I want to be like that? Or like, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Well, you see people who are insecure too, right? If you see someone who's like highly insecure and or I've had it, people hate me for no reason.
Yeah.
I walk into a room and I'm hated. I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah, why?
But if I think about it in that terms, right? If I triggered them, just if there was something that I did that they're like, oh, I wanted to be that.
And that's the same reason, like, oh yeah, it might be triggering for me to like have someone set a boundary. It's only because I wish that I could set that boundary, right? Yeah.
So something to consider. Examine your family tree and look at the qualities that exist within your family and ask if any of those are in you. Hypothetically, they should be, but you never know.
Yep. And like with that one, it's also important to, like with moving forward with shadow work, if you don't like certain things that your family has done, then to like recognize that and then kind of stop it now so that you're not continuing with generational trauma. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that, I was like, with the generational trauma kind of topics that are coming up now of so many people being like, no, I'm not continuing that pattern. Thank you so much. Yeah. Rather than subconsciously doing it for the rest of your life. Yeah. Make a list of the things that deplete you versus those that elevate you. Identify potential shadow parts and how they may have originated. Discuss how this truth impacts your life and explore ways to manage those parts. You can begin to work on confronting and releasing your shadow with positive affirmations such as, I allow the darkest shadow that is buried within me to be released. I release fear. I release doubt. I release shame. I release insecurity. Another option is you can flip the script. So take a shadow part and instead of focusing on the negative connotations, focus more on the positive qualities. Yep. Qualitative positives. Qualitative positives. You know the ones. So an example of this would be imposter syndrome. List which ways your shadow part helps you so that it makes you detail-oriented, self-aware, and conscientious. Yeah. So instead of like looking down on yourself for like having imposter syndrome, be like, oh well, this imposter syndrome is helping me. Yeah. In a sense. Exactly. And then find value. That doesn't mean like monetary value, but like a moral code. Yeah. It's like, what do you hold important to you? Exactly. And so some best practices of shadow work, watch out for triggers, because as you do this, you'll be able to gain an understanding of what is triggering you and why, as I've mentioned. Shadow work is not easy, so make sure to give yourself compassion. A lot of people are afraid of what they'll find, but you're not as bad as you think. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Those two are very important because shadow work is very, very difficult. And so you'll have obviously a lot of feelings come up, and it's important to just allow yourself the freedom to feel those feelings and to not be so hard on yourself. Like, oh, why are you so weak for feeling that? It's like, well, no, something happened that made you that way. Like you're talking, like the way I think of it is like, a lot of people would say the things to themselves that they wish were said to their child self. So you kind of have to do it the same way. Like, if you're working through something that happened to you as a child, it would be important to speak to yourself as if you were that child. And like, if you were talking to yourself in a way that would really hurt you when you were a child, it would change it. Yeah. Like, Definitely. And then everyone can benefit from doing shadow work, and not doing it will do more harm than doing it. There's no part of you that is unbearable. Yeah. that was the quote that I liked. Is there's no part of you that's unbearable, so just love your whole self. Exactly. Yeah, it was weird because like in some of the articles they were like, is it dangerous to practice shadow work? And they were like, no, you're growing. Like, you're fine. And there's other ones where like safety of practicing shadow work. And I was like, I don't understand.
Well, I think maybe that just more so comes to a point so you don't get like depressed to the point of doing something self-harm related, right?
And I think that's kind of like make sure you're doing it with the help of a therapist versus like by yourself. Like you can do it to a certain extent by yourself, but for some issues, it would be beneficial to have a therapist with you, just making sure that you are safe. And so some benefits of shadow work is that it taps into your intuition, which can help you trust your gut and inner compass, both of which can be squashed kind of as you grow up. It can help you feel whole or integrated as a person, and it can help you get a more holistic view of yourself and give you the chance to reclaim the gifts that make us who we are. But in order to do that, you need to know what it is that's holding you back so you can work on it. It can improve your interactions with others, and as you gain more self-awareness, then you will begin to trust yourself. And by doing shadow work, you can learn how to set boundaries and learn to speak your truth, especially if you're told to not talk back as a child. Yep. It also is really beneficial for healing generational trauma. So you can heal yourself and therefore change how you parent. So when you have kids, you're not passing down that generational trauma. The article also said that you can heal your parents, but it didn't really go on to explain how. But then later on, it mentions that like you have to confront your primary caregivers as part of the shadow work. So I think that by like confronting them and letting them know that what they did was like harmful or whatever, or you had perceived it in whichever way, can kind of help them then self-reflect and be like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't my intention, like blah, blah, blah. And then moving forward, they can kind of, can work together. So I think that's maybe what they meant. I don't really know.
Yeah.
And then lastly, you can learn healthy ways to meet your needs. So by exploring your shadow self, you can work more on constructive habits. And when you're hiding nothing from yourself and can see yourself fully, it's a lot easier to be in control of yourself. So you can just do better, I guess.
Yep. Cool. And then so under shadow repression, so keeping your shadow hidden is a form of repression, and it may have its consequences. They compare it to recognizing that you have an issue, but you aren't allowing yourself to really deal with it. Often people will self-soothe with drugs or alcohol, talk negatively about themselves, experience stress, experience mental health difficulties such as depression, anxiety, XYZ. This is all because you're not confronting what's bothering or hurting you, and then you are taking your pain out on yourself or sometimes on others.
Very much so. And yeah, it does definitely go back to the law of attraction of like, oh, well, I feel like I deserve this, so that's just how it will be.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, which isn't it, because there's no part of you that is unbearable. Like that. I like that a lot. Because I feel like a lot of people just feel that.
Yeah.
So what to expect with shadow work and therapy. You can do it by yourself, like I said, but most often you will gain more if you do it with a therapist because they can understand what they're doing a little bit.
Well, and they can see you in ways that you don't see yourself.
Exactly.
Too.
That's funny coming from you.
I know. Listen, I have to openly talk about this shit for almost a year now.
I know.
It's
good. A year ago, you wouldn't have said that.
I therapize myself. I always have done that. I've always therapized myself. But now having to talk about it here, I still haven't seen a therapist.
Yeah. Oh, me neither.
Even though but this acts as therapy in the sense I have to say it verbally and process it and have you be like, but what about this? And I'm going to be like, oh.
Right.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh, we should do a couples therapy.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be so funny. We should go and see how long it takes a therapist to realize we're not actually dating.
My life.
I was like, at the wedding, when Kayla introduced me, she's like, this is my wife. And the lady we were talking to was like, what? No, we're not actually married. She's my work wife.
I just keep, I guess I used to say my wife to Journey, so people don't understand that she's not actually my wife.
We're not actually married.
We've actually people have been saying like, oh wow, that's so great.
Yeah. We're like, yeah. But yeah, it's been like a year. We've had our ups and downs, but we've persevered.
Oh my gosh.
And now I just say, my wife.
Yeah. My wife.
My wife. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay. So shadow work is very overwhelming because you have to confront your primary caregivers and you come to realize that things weren't always the way that you thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be very disrupting for both you and your primary caregivers. And if you're someone like me who then will take on the emotions of them that you're confronting, it just is a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so a therapist will help you work through these feelings constructively. And shadow work can take time, and more often than not, it is a never-ending journey. It's something you will always, always, always be working on.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
What it is.
Alrighty, and then so for some, shadow work can feel like a soul care, and if you can connect with yourself and soul, then you can access parts of yourself that you can't see, and then that allow yourself to experience a wider range of emotions. So this is where a lot of people tend to take ayahuasca, I think, is a big one for that, or shrooms. Everyone's like, wow, it's been a mind-changing like thing. It's just because it's you're tapping into parts of yourself or experiencing a different consciousness that you don't have to do drugs to do that. You don't have to take shrooms or ayahuasca. You just, sometimes meditation is it. Sometimes silence retreats. That's why people do all these various.
Well, even just, I feel like seasonal cleanses that we've talked about can help you like do all that. And like with Drew Barrymore, she has like a whole like little closet that she just kind of like dedicates to where she does her shadow work, which is really cool. And so the walls are just covered with like sticky notes and stuff. And she just kind of like sits there and like feels her feelings and does her work. And then like, I don't know what she writes on the sticky notes perhaps, but it can just probably range from anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny because I didn't really think of this as like a spiritual thing. But both Michaela and Alexa were like, yeah, it's like spiritual, not job shadowing. And I was like, I don't understand. And then I was researching this and I was like, oh my gosh, did I completely research the entirely wrong topic? Because I was like, this feels more like psychology than spirituality, but
it's both.
Yeah, I guess.
It can be both, right? Like uncovering your shadow can feel very spiritual, even though it is a psychology topic, like Carl Jung.
Yeah.
But anything when it comes to the unconscious, and that's where Jung is focusing in on with this, anything unconscious can feel very spiritual because it's not conscious. It's not who you identify yourself as. It's so like mysterious in many ways. It just kind of floats above you, behind you.
Oh, weird.
And then you're like, wait, that's part of me too.
Second. That's so interesting because that's not at all how I would, like, to me, doing shadow work doesn't feel spiritual inherently, but I've definitely have become more in tuned with my like intuition in a sense, and I guess like trusting your gut and your moral compass and stuff can kind of work with that. I don't know, it was weird. So then we did a personality test because we wouldn't be SCS without a personality test.
No, I feel like it's been a while since we've done one.
I want to do the Enneagram one next.
Oh my gosh, right?
I think that'd be fun.
This was on like off of gimmemore.com. Don't know if it's anything legit. You can have one from Jung, but we didn't want to pay $10.
Yeah, I was like so excited, and they're like $10, and I was like, darn it.
Yeah.
No.
So this quiz was what part of your life requires you to do shadow work?
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm all like, oh, well, this doesn't feel spiritual, and then I need to do shadow work on my soul. Which is so funny. Because I'm like, of course. Because I was just like ranting to Michaela about how I didn't understand how it was like spirituality and whatever. And then she's like, what was your test results? I was like, your soul. I hate my words. Yeah.
Alrighty.
But, oh well.
Do you want to read the description?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so my description says, you've done a lot of soul searching in recent years, and while sometimes things may have been challenging, the experiences you have gathered will allow you to move forward. Look deep inside yourself to actualize what you want and need in your life right now. The good thing is that you're not afraid to look deeper in order to understand yourself fully. And I agree with that. I was like, that's a very good description of who I am and where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I agree.
So then I was like, darn it.
Yeah. Mine got it's time to do shadow work on your past.
Ooh.
And so it's no matter what might have happened in the past, it's time to let go. Feelings of anger or blame are not serving you right now. And the best thing you can do for yourself is begin the healing process.
That's cute.
Which I'm not gonna say no to that.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So I don't know how legit this quiz is, but both those answers were like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I can definitely identify with that.
So we'll link that quiz below in the description.
If you feel like you want to taste it, take it. Your soul, unseasoned. You passed the spicy. Spicy, so spicy. No wonder you have digestion issues.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny, actually.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. So that's what we have on shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
The who, what, where, when, whys.
Yeah, just very basic. Like, it's hard to go too in depth in it without like repeating other episodes that we've done. Because I feel like our inner child one. Oh my goodness, my inner child was so happy the other day because I was driving to my best friend's bachelorette and I was listening to my favoriteest like musical album, and we were going to the restaurant that I've wanted to go to since I like first ever saw it. Like I've always wanted to go there. And like that's where we were going for brunch. And I was just like, I could not have been happier.
Aww.
I was like, oh, my inner child is so happy. All my dreams are coming true.
Aww. That's so good.
I was like, it was so exciting. I forget where I was going with that, but anyway, now you know that.
Fun.
So, for our segment today, we're going to do Would You Rather.
Yeah. So, we have an article that says 50 of the best Would You Rather questions.
Ooh. Bum, bum, bum. Would you rather clog the toilet on a first date or first date at a new job?
Oh, first date at a new job.
Yeah. 100%. I guess it would be weird. Like, for the first date, like, are you clogging it like at their house?
Yeah.
Are you like at a restaurant? Because I think I would rather the first date if we were at a restaurant and then we could just like leave.
Yeah.
But
first job, not necessarily
first date, a new job.
Right?
That's true. That's true.
So
that's true.
Would you rather have a nose that never stops growing or ears that never stop growing?
Oh my gosh. I could just imagine me with a giant Pinocchio nose that's so heavy I can't keep it up, and I'm just like. So I think nose. I'm self-conscious about my ears. I think they're big anyways. I don't like them.
Oh my gosh, I'd definitely rather ears.
Oh my gosh, you just be like, oh, but then maybe you could fly.
Dumbo?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay. Would you rather have the face of an old person but the body of a 20-year-old, or the body of an old person and the face of a 20-year-old?
Face and body and face. Body old, face young.
Really? I would do body young, face old.
Okay, so I guess, are we talking like outward appearance, or are we talking about like joints?
I don't know. Maybe both?
If it's joints and function, maybe 20 and old face.
Yeah.
But if it's like same joints and function, just like appearance.
Oh.
Probably old body, young face.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I'm going to do young body, old face still.
Yeah.
Because that's how it makes sense in my mind.
Okay. Makes sense. Would you rather be stuck in a phone box?
I knew you were going to pick that one.
With 10 snakes or 10 tarantulas?
Tarantulas, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I could kill them. I could not do snakes. I could not. I can't even think about that. I just hate it. I just hate it.
Oh my gosh.
I hate it. What about you?
Probably tarantulas as well.
So gross.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, what the heck? Okay, would you rather let a crusty old man drink milk out of your belly button every day for a year, or drink milk out of a crusty old man's belly button every day for a month? That is the perfect would you rather. Oh my god.
Out of mine for a year.
Yeah, or out of his for a month.
I'm gonna go with the out of mine for a year.
Yeah, I think same. That's so gross.
It's the crusty old man
I love
bit.
the description.
I can't think of drinking crusty milk.
Oh, I could not. I don't want to put my face anywhere near a crusty old man's belly button. Are you kidding me? Gross.
Would you rather fight a kangaroo or a badger?
Kangaroo. Badgers are real mean. Real mean.
Badgers are vicious. Badgers scare like large animals.
Yeah. And I feel like with a kangaroo, there's just one punch, knock me out, and then I'm just done. I don't have to worry about like a badger feasting on my bones. You know what I mean? I don't know if they do that or not, but
Fucking kangaroos curb stomp you.
Literally, I'm like, no, thank you.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, these ones are good. Would you rather be magical but live on Earth, or live in a magical land but just be normal?
Magical on Earth.
Yeah, same. 100%.
Yeah.
I could go for some magic.
They.
Oh,
there's so many good ones for this one.
Yeah. I'm going to choose another one from this one.
Would you rather know how the world began or how it will all end?
That's one I was going to choose again. It's such a good question.
Such a good one.
I'd rather know how the world began. Okay. I don't really want to know how it ends because I'm worried it's going to be in my lifetime. Even though I don't think it is.
The opposite. I probably wants to know how it will end.
I have zero desire. I'm already an anxious enough person as it is. That would just skyrocket me.
That's fair.
Oh my gosh. Would you rather be able to change the past or see into the future?
See into the future. Mm-hmm. I think playing with the past has too many potential problems.
It gets hairy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I would much rather see into the future because it's like everything has to happen the exact way that it did in order to end up where we are. So you could hypothetically change something in the past and you would no longer exist.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
You can gaze into the future. Be a little That's So Raven moment.
What's that one? Pocahontas?
Life would be a dream. That's So Raven?
Oh, I never watched That's So Raven.
Yeah. Okay.
I can feel the judgment. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize that was a sore spot. You need to work on your shadow.
I was stunned. I'm like, how do you not know? Is that Pocahontas? I was like, but no.
I don't know. It kind of sounded like a Pocahontas song.
You can gaze into the future.
I don't know.
Thinking life would
the
be
head
a
bobble
dream.
gives me not Pocahontas. Because it kind of goes like you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
That's what it just was for mostly. It was like the, what do you mean?
What do you mean Pocahontas?
Yeah.
Uncultured swine.
That's funny. Oh, this is a rough one.
Oof.
Ooh, actually, no, I'm changing to this last one.
Ooh.
Would you rather be stuck on an island for eternity all on your own or with someone you hate?
I think I would rather be stuck on an island with someone I hate. Yeah. Because I'm hoping I could learn to like them.
Do some shadow work.
I really don't want to be alone for eternity. I'm so codependent. I'm so, painfully codependent.
Yeah. I'm back and forth on that one because if it's someone that you hate, do they hate you too? And are they willing to, kill you for their own benefit?
No, because then they'll be alone forever.
I know, but if they really hated you, back, I can't,
I guess.
That's my lack of trust for other people.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you do go stir crazy if you're alone.
Yeah.
So.
I think I would just last longer if I was with someone that I hated.
True.
And then, yeah, I'd die pretty quick if I was on an island by myself.
You would.
Just
respectfully.
Just because of who I am.
Your decision paralysis would,
yeah.
You just sit on the sand and be like,
I have so many things I need to do, so I'm going to do nothing and panic about it.
Yeah.
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 That's a tough one. Yeah. Because, yeah, definitely someone I hate and they can learn to like me and I can learn to like them. But wouldn't that be kind of funny? If it's just someone who didn't know that you hated them and then, they knew that you chose them because you hated them, but they didn't hate you. And it's just
What? Yeah, that
Just
would
to
make
add a
things
little
really...
drama llama.
That'd be spicy.
That would be spicy.
Hey, MTV, make that show.
That would be amazing. Patent, we trademarked SCS. SCS. That's us. I was like, what's our name?
Yeah. MTV, you gotta do that. Get on that.
But pay us though, because that's our copyright or whatever. We heard it here first.
We heard it here first. We heard it here.
We did it. We baguette.
That's shadow work. And would you rather?
Yes, it is.
Oh, so fun.
Oh my gosh, so good.
So, I'm Mak Joy.
I'm Ms. Jubes.
We are Sometimes Joelle Slaps on all social media platforms. Our website is sometimesjoelleslaps.com, and on there you can find links to all of our episodes, book club, book reviews, links to the books that we read, affiliate links. We've got a handful of affiliates now, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You can get some good discount codes there. So if you are interested in, any of our affiliates on there, we have when discount codes expire and or ones that are continued on for eternity. For
foreseeable future.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
If you like what we're doing here, or if you just like us, give us a like, rate, and review. It all helps us out. We appreciate it dearly.
And we're vain, so we like to hear about how good we are.
Yeah. It heals our inner child or whatever.
Yeah, it really helps my shadow work. Or, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. If you want to help Jordy with her shadow work, say she's doing a good job.
Exactly. Please and thank you.
And on that note, we'll see you next week.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Bye.